Awawa.
Does that make me the crazy one? Does it stand by me? Does it break your heart?
Hello? Hello? It's not Wednesday, it's Wet Wednesday. Okay, I see. I understand. I understand. Thank you for the clarification, Dev. No, hello! Friends, enemies, past romantic partners, and future nemesis. Welcome to the long haul. It's a celebration of simulation. Today we're playing. My name is Shiv Rose. I forgot to say my name in there. Today we're playing. I ran out of breath. Today we're playing a more Power Wash Simulator because I just need to chill right now. I got big coffee. I made a big coffee. It's nice. Wet Wednesday, the sequel to Thursday. So true. Today we are playing. Today we are capital P playing. Emblazoned in lights over the stage. Hi. There are some things. There are some things Uh, wet, Wednesday. No, see, I don't. Here's what's happening right now. Here's the thing that's happening to me right now. I, first of all, I had like 2 cans worth of Red Bull today, so that's already a whole situation. I got a big coffee. Here, listen to the ice in my big coffee. That's a noise I'm making with my mouth, according to the bouncing avatar friend. Here's the thing that's happening. Some people may or may not know. Cora is aware. There are multiple dudes in my head. There are extra guys. I got a free man. I've got 4 free men, I guess. Most of them aren't men. One of them is a man. And there's this thing that happens sometimes that I've heard referred to as being blendy, where you kind of sort of have 2 people operating like one. And this happens to me regularly. It doesn't normally happen when I'm about to do my funny little show. The way I am gesticulating right now is a lot. So hi, I'm Shiv Rose, but I'm also kind of Clarity. Just a little bit. Clarity and me are basically the same person, but we're a little more. She's a little more manic than me in general. just generally speaking. So that's the situation. That's why I'm a little. Yeah. Here's the thing. Clarity does not have the patience to drive a train or a truck, so we're doing Power Wash Sim. That's what's up. Friends, enemies, past romantic partners, and future nemesis, welcome to the long haul. It's a celebration of simulation. We're doing the thing. You probably think I built this filthy treehouse deep in the forest because I let myself go, but actually it's because I'm searching for the missing link. Problem is, whilst I'm out looking for them, even sometimes in the dead of night, pranksters come all the way out here, hollering unearthly noises and chucking stinky mud around. A few times now, I've slid down the steps and clean off the edge. Of course, I've got the reflexes of a mongoose, so I always land on my feet and never break no bones, but it's probably time to get the place hosed down all the same. Thanks, Hunter. Got put in the funny blender again. Yes, that is precisely what has happened. How's everyone doing today? How are y'all doing? I've now explained how I'm doing. Ooh, that's loud. That feels too loud. Is that too loud? Tell me if that's too loud. Into chat. It's a little bit loud. Okay. We're fixing it. Why am I doing it in the game settings? I have an audio mixer. We'll just turn that down a little bit. Okay. Okay, that seems like a much more manageable level based on what the audio mixer says. You're tired, didn't do anything, but you're tired anyway. I have that feeling every day of my goddamn life. Today, I went to the pharmacy. So I had to go on a long and arduous drive, and then the pharmacy was really busy, so I had to sit in the drive-through lane for like 10 entire minutes. So the usual. Yeah, I feel ya. Well, getting stuck on stuff. I haven't had a super interesting week. We have a visitor in the house right now. That's new. That's exciting. One of my housemates' friends, partners? Question mark. I do not know the nature of their relationship. It's not really my business. I'm realizing now that I don't know, though, and now I'm curious. Based on context clues, I'm gonna guess partners. Friends? Enemies? Past romantic partners? Future nemesis? Maybe. Maybe one of those. You were too late to exclamation point Shiv. I mean, I can do it again if you want. Do you want me to do it again? I've already done it twice. Is there? Can't. Oh, because he's looking for Bigfoot. Oh shit. We can spin it. Oh, we can stand on it. All right. Will you do it again? All right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Friends, enemies, past romantic partners, and future nemesis. Welcome to the long haul. It's a celebration of simulation. I'm Shiv Rose. Are you happy? Did I do the thing? Are we chill now? Is everything cool? How are you doing today, Quinn? I have not gotten a chance to talk to you in a while. Because I have had... I was about to say a lot going on, but that's not true. I've had very little energy is what I've had. Ooh, you were washing rice. What kind of funny rice dish are you making? Tell me all about your rice aspirations. Finally got to start the new season of Link Cable. Hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Happy for you. White rice, gonna eat it with some tilapia. Nice. Sorry, usually when I make rice, I'm making like a dish that heavily features rice. Rather than just making rice as a side. I need to take the extension back off. I'm so close now. Doing a tiny bit of research for Lights Out. Nice, 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 nice. I'm excited about this. I should also be doing a tiny bit of research for that, in my opinion. Actually, I might be thinking of the wrong thing. I don't know. I'm a little out of it. You missed the explanation as to why I'm a little out of it, but I'm a little out of it. Suffice to say, I've had a lot of caffeine today, and that's not actually the problem, but it's probably not helping. You know? The plushies got together in the funny blender again. Yeah. Yeah. There is some squirrel and some mouse, and they are mingling in this funny blender. These are the kinds of silly, goofy things. Maybe taking another little break so one of the graphics to review the show for a determined amount of time. Gotcha. Squirrel mouse time. Exactly. Sorry. I just realized that like looked interesting. I like how you can move the thing independently. There's something very stimmy about looking at it move independently of the camera to me. So I apologize. Wait, let me show you Funny Mouse. Let me show you who's in the Funny Blender right now. Image time. There's Clarity. Clarity is currently in the Funny Blender with me. I don't really need to find an image of me. Y'all know what I look. Y'all are looking at an image of me right now. But you get the point. Yeah, we're in the Funny Blender, is what I'm getting at. Clarity is so monochrome. Yeah. Clarity is actually mostly white. That is simply, a friend of Clarity's drew that for her, and Clarity certainly wasn't going to question the color, but Clarity's like kind of white gray, yeah. White woman, yes. Be happy to meet up and watch some things together and feel out our commentary dynamic. Yeah. I'd be happy to do that. I have just... In the times when I'm not super tired, I've had a bunch of stuff going on, and in the times when I am super tired, I'm super tired is the thing that's been happening to me right now. Gotta tell Clarity I love her song with Zed. I don't think I get this joke. Yeah, I said we had a house guest right now. Scared the absolute hell out of them with Clarity yesterday. Clarity just sort of popped out, and Clarity is, like I said, kind of embodiment of mania in a lot of ways. Embodiment of mania / affectionate, you know? And the house guest was a little bit weirded out, freaked out, because suddenly I was no longer a squirrel. I was a funny mouse. And this is just a thing that happens sometimes. It's normal. What am I missing on this gas? I got the one on the left there. Oh. Oh, it's like just like crammed off to the side there. You should be able to move these things. There we go. Clarity is a song by Russian-German DJ Zed featuring the vocals of British singer Foxes. It was released on 14th November 2012 as the third single from the the former's debut studio album of the same name. The song was written by Anton Soslavsky, Matthew Koma, Porter Robinson, and I like Porter Robinson. I've been listening to Porter Robinson since before he was cool. You know, with his first enormous internet hit and not the second one. Actually, I was just listening to Porter Robinson's one of his new singles today, and it completely fucks. Cheerleader by Porter Robinson. I really like it. It's a fun single. It's very fun to sing along to. What am I missing? Oh. I thought I got the whole top. I guess not. Explains why it bangs. Peaked at number 8 on Billboard Hot 100. Need to catch up with his newer stuff. Yeah, I think he's only released like 2 singles with the newer stuff. I'm not 100% on that, but I do like the one that I heard. I don't think I've listened to the second one. Where is there more dirt on this? There we go. How? Like, I definitely wouldn't say that Cheerleader is like one of his best songs necessarily. There we go. There's like tucked underneath there. Like I said, you should be able to move those bottles so you can get at the sides and stuff. I wouldn't say it's like one of his best songs necessarily, but it's probably his best song for singing along to, in my opinion. And I do love a song you can sing along to, personally. It's very vocals. It's a lot more like traditionally just like sort of a pop song than Porter Robinson normally does, which I think is interesting. I don't think Madeon is involved this time. If our love is tragedy, why are you my remedy? If our love's the same. Oh, I do know this song. Fuck, I can't put the tune in my head, but I know that lyric. Meant to be a reply to Cora. Yeah. No, I know. I know the song though. I do know what song that is. I just can't think of the tune. If our yeah, okay. I do know what song it is. I don't think I actually knew the words, the actual words. I think after If Our Love, in my head it just kind of like became a jumbled mess. Not my favorite Zed track by a long shot, but it's good. I don't think I've listened to any other Zed tracks, to be honest. Yeah, I had no idea Porter Robinson helped write that song. That's interesting. An old Lyric Stuck Yowie video. No, we're talking about Lyric Stuck Yowie now. Yeah, I agree. Tell us about this Lyric Stuck Yowie video. In excruciating detail, please. I think I should just be using the soap nozzle. I think I'm out of metal cleaner. There we go. That part I can just get. There we go. There's the stand. The grill still has... Wow. Where is there more dirt on this thing? Oh, on the bottom. I apparently picked like the hardest fucking object in the game to clean first. Like, good lord. That was ridiculous. It's Gamcat. Describe it beat for beat. They took the art from a Tumblr post and converted it into a video, but the original Tumblr source is dead. Huh. Gamcat is a thing. We're apparently talking about Homestuck ships now. Don't actually stream this. There's a lot of blood in it. I wasn't planning on it because it probably has copyrighted music. Like, that song would probably get copyright struck. So I'm not actually touching it. As much as I think it would be funny to. Nothing to say about ships of any kind, really. I watched some videos recently of one of my favorite travel YouTubers, spending the night, or spending like a week aboard a Canadian Navy ship. That was pretty cool. That was kind of a neat ship. It was mostly just a video basically about them hanging out with a random, like a bunch of Canadian military guys hanging out with a random civilian and forcing him to do their training exercises with them. Honestly, it was interesting. I'm interested in that kind of stuff. The art is high quality, so there's not really anything to like laugh at or anything. It's well made, just kind of a questionable taste and a little edgy. I mean, yeah, it's Gamcat. It's Gamcat. Of course it is. That's Gamcat, baby. Trying to think of any ship I could like You got copyright muted for the Weed Gecko video? Oh no. There we go. Only one pairing even comes to mind with something I'd ship as a verb. You know, I'm kind of a shipper, as they say. Like, in the casual sense, I guess. Like, I'm not really the kind of person who thinks about it that much, but like there are definitely, like, I look at a thing and I'm like, oh yeah, these characters should definitely get together. I think that would be cute, you know? I'm like a very casual shipper. Like, for some reason, the first thing that came to mind when I was trying to think of an example is Winona Earp, which is, I don't know, it's a show that I would recommend, but like it's pretty good. um, uh, in Winona Earp, my primary ship is Doc Holliday with me. Can't think of any fictional relationships that you can say anything on about beyond that would be cute. There are definitely a lot of fictional relationships I could say a lot about because I am an insufferable fucking media talker about her. Like, I could definitely go on about some things at length, even if it's not something I'm necessarily super interested in. Okay, that's that bottom part of the deck done. You love to see it. Lee and Emily from Crosscode are obviously in love with each other. Rita and Estelle from Tales of Vesperia. These are not video games that I've played, but I appreciate your opinions. Women be chatting. So true. I... See, my issue with shipping is that most people are like very straight or very gay about it, and I am an insufferable bisexual. Like, you know the way that, like... Enlightened centrist, Siobhan. No, it's not that I'm a centrist. It's that I'm incredibly indecisive. You want me to choose boys or girls? Absolutely not. Also non-binary people, of course, but I was doing a bit there. I was doing a bit there. Obviously, as a incredibly non-binary person, I do uh believe that non-binary people are hot also. Obviously. You know, to choose boys or girls, easiest choice of my life. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I respect that. I respect that that is an easy choice for most people. Unfortunately for me, boys are hot. Boys are cute and hot, and I like them, and they're good to kiss. You choose the hydrogen bomb. Hydrogen bomb versus coughing baby. Yeah. I feel you. I used to think I was a lesbian. Um, See, I thought I was bisexual in high school. I didn't care in middle school. I thought I was bisexual in high school. Then I thought I was a lesbian for a long time. And then I realized at some point. Here's the thing. I was dating several people, and then I met this boy that one of my partners is dating. And he's a dork, and he's ridiculous, and he's always making bad puns, and revels in the groaning. And yeah, I'm in love with him. And then I was like, oh yeah, I guess I am bisexual, like in a more full way. Because I think at the time that happened, I was like, yeah, I'm bi, but like I only care to look at boys, not to be with boys. But then I met that guy, and it was all out the window from there. Honestly, Cora might remember this better than I do. Cora was around for this. Cora has been around for much of my adult life. You really don't? Okay. That's why I said might. Sometimes when I talk about relationshipy things, you remember them better than me because my memory is terrible. My two MF ships are Simone and Peter from Dispatches from Elsewhere, and Sean and TBH, you forget her name, but the black lady from The Lab and The Good Doctor. Didn't tell you very much about it, it just kind of happened. Yeah, it did just kind of happen. That's kind of how I remember it too. It just kind of happened. Okay, I think we're good on that part. Anyway, sorry, not to belabor the point. Um, Dispatches from Elsewhere is a podcast, right? Like I think that's like on my like list of podcasts to listen to, but I'm behind on all of the podcasts I'm currently listening to, so I haven't gotten around to it. I fell like 3 months behind on the campaign podcast. TV show by the guy from the Muppets 2011. Okay, I wonder what I'm thinking of. There's some podcast that I intended to listen to that has a title somewhat similar to that. No idea what it was. Dispatches from Elsewhere. I've definitely heard that name, and I definitely intended to enjoy whatever piece of media it was, so just pull that up real quick. I'm just pulling up a page for it in my browser so I remember to actually like look into it. Cool. You definitely have heard the name from me because I won't shut up. Fair enough. Including ones actually written by trans people. Huh. That's interesting. I'm intrigued. Honestly, just speaking of like trans representation in media in general, I'm surprised I haven't heard more people being mad about Fallout, because I'm pretty sure that there's a non-binary character in it. To be fair, that non-binary character is, I believe, immediately sidelined. Like within the first episode, sidelined. Maybe the second. Watched it recently with Mish and cried openly. Oh. Villains towards Fallout has prevented that factoid from reaching me until now. Yeah, I don't... I think the character is non-binary. It's honestly not 100% clear to me. But there was a character, and I believe they were referring to them as they, them pronouns throughout the episode that they were in. And then they, minor spoilers for very early in Fallout, they stick their foot in a boot that has been sabotaged and filled with razor blades, so they get immediately sidelined. And it's a little bit gruesome. Like, more gruesome than I was expecting them to go, frankly. That Doctor Who had some good trans stuff recently, thanks to the newest Sarah Zedek video. I still haven't watched the newest Sarah Zedek video. Like, I haven't watched any of the stuff about the trans stuff in Doctor Who, because me and Tia are still working on catching up. We want to watch, you know, the second run of David Tennant stuff, as well as the Ncuti Gatwa stuff. But we just haven't finished Capaldi yet, because Capaldi's second season, while much better than his first season, is kind of exhausting. My problem with Peter Capaldi's second season third season? Second season? How many seasons did Peter Capaldi do? Because we're on the last season of him, I think. I don't know. It's the season with the big scary door that he has to guard. Like, each individual episode, for the most part, I'm enjoying quite a bit of this season. But then also there's, like, a character that is just, like, constantly telling the Doctor, no, you can't go on space adventures. And I'm grumpy that you're going on space adventures because of a promise that you made off screen. And, like, we've seen what the promise on screen is now, and we know, like, the whole deal with it, but, like, it's just sort of exhausting. And then the whole back few episodes of the season appear to be about the Master once again, who, like, you know, I don't mind the Master. I like the actress who plays the lady version of the Master. I think she's really good. I don't like what they're doing with her character. I kind of don't love her, like, falling in love with the Doctor or whatever's happening there. It kind of feels like that's what's happening. Tilapia and white rice and broccoli is ready, so you must away. Fair enough.
There
Enjoy
is
your
nothing more
tilapia.
enchanting than a big cozy owl hug.
Yay, owl hug.
You've never had an owl hug? Well, brace yourself. It looks like Owl is swooping in to give you one, right now.
Thank you, Owl. Thank you for Owl Hug. I will catch you later, Quinn. Have a good food. Have a good dinner. I'm missing stuff on this. There we go. Sorry for describing a gross and brutal thing that happens in a television show, Cora. I should have given more warning about that. By the way, I saw you say, "Aug, I don't like that at all," and I regretted saying it without giving sufficient warning, because it's rough. It's rough. It was bad to look at, too. The Fallout TV show is fine. That's my hot take on that. I can give you some missing link facts based on what I found so far, if you'd like. Sure, man. Tell me about the Big Foot. Thought I was using an extension for a second there. Fallout. Okay. I'm thinking about Fallout now. Fallout is a vibes show to me. Like, Fallout has vibes. And I don't think it really has story going for it. Which is unfortunate because it's fucking Fallout. Like, Fallout 1, 2, and New Vegas are some of the most legendarily good video game stories of all time. And the Fallout show is more vibes-based than story-based. Which is fine. You know, I don't necessarily mind it. I like the Fallout setting. I think it's fun. And hey, I got through. I didn't finish it because I got bored. But hey, I got through 6 episodes and I haven't seen a super mutant. So that's something. That's nice that we're like, you know, rolling with the lore a little bit on the super mutants. Recently fucking enraged by learning about the baseball guy in Fallout 4 who reveals that all knowledge of baseball has been lost somehow and nobody actually knows what it was or how it was played. Even though they still have ghouls around from pre-war. Yeah! I didn't know about this character, but I'm mad about it now. I'm immediately mad about that. Okay. There's a lot of stuff on this level. This is a big one. Diamond City is the Red Sox stadium. Yeah. Guys, have you seen with everything we know about baseball and it's all wrong for a laugh? Like, okay, I'm not gonna say that classic Fallout and Fallout New Vegas have no inconsistencies as far as the writing. They absolutely do have inconsistencies as far as the writing go. I am still going to say that this is one of the things that I hate about Bethesda Fallout, though. We're throwing out the lore because we want to do something that's related to old iconic elements from Fallout 1 and 2. And we're throwing out the lore because we want to do a funny joke. And usually the funny joke isn't actually all that funny. Though I think it is kind of an element that people forget a lot, that like a lot of ghouls have just been around since the war. I think that's kind of a thing that people forget for some reason. I don't know how. It's like one of the most interesting things about the setting, that there's just still people around who were alive when the war happened, when the bombs dropped. The Fallout show doesn't forget about that. The ghoul character in that is like, has some genuinely interesting backstory stuff. The fucking Vault Tech rep, the guy you knew pre-war, lives in Diamond City and apparently he was not asked what baseball was. There's a signed baseball item in Fallout 4. The signature on it is from a fucking Club Penguin character. A Bethesda employee thoughtlessly copied it off Google because it's one of the top... Good lord. That's funny. That's actually funny. I think that's funny. Oh God. My brain was like spinning off in directions as far as like, well, what else video games could they actually adapt into something worth watching? Maybe. And my brain jumped to Duke Nukem, and then I imagined Ryan Reynolds or The Rock or what's that guy's name? Chris Pratt as Duke Nukem. And my body physically recoiled away from my computer when I had that thought. Don't get me wrong. I love The Rock. Like, Dwayne Johnson is good, but also in movies and stuff, he plays exactly one character now, and that character is The Rock, which I don't like. I don't love that. I like it when actors get to play other characters, and I think that's his own decision. Like, he's preserving his personal brand by sticking to one type of character. Actually, the most interesting thing The Rock has been doing lately is that he's actually playing a heel in WWE again, or at least he was for WrestleMania. Like they managed to get, I don't know if it was them or him. It sounded like it was the company getting pushback about some stuff that happened. I'm not going to get into all the details. No one wants to hear about wrestling in that much detail right now, probably. But like, they actually got him to be a heel again, which I think was fun. I think he's a good heel, and that's the thing he was known for. That's what made him famous. Being good at being a huge asshole is what made him famous, and now his whole brand is being like wholesome dad energy. And again, not a bad thing, just not the thing that I think he's really good at, personally. In Jumanji, he was playing a child possessing the Rock body. In Jumanji 2, he was playing Danny DeVito possessing the Rock's body. That is true. I haven't actually seen the Jumanji movies. I've heard they're actually genuinely really good. Or like, I've seen Jumanji, the original. I haven't seen like the new ones. The reboot ones, I guess. The ones that are about a video game and not a board game. Bits I saw were decently funny. That's good. Most people I know who have seen them really enjoy them. I will say that. Like, I don't think I know anyone who's seen them who said that they were like bad. I think it's pretty much all decent to good, opinions-wise, from what I've seen. I could get up on the scaffold, but that seems like more work than just using the really long extension. The really long extension seems to just be kind of doing the job. Was put off by the humor for the first. Oh. Chart in the Jack Black self-deprecating humor. Guy sucks so bad. Yeah, okay. You remember the first one? The fact the popular girl got stuck as Jack Black. Yeah. I know that there is like a girl in Jack Black's body. I know that is part of the thing. I didn't know it was a lot of self-deprecating stuff, and I was told by some people that I know that it's like not actually weird and transphobic about girl and guy body. But I can see how even if it's not transphobic about it, that would get exhausting fast. Joke is less no I'm a guy and more no I'm Jack Black who is old and dumpy and a nerd. Yeah, that's fine. Does not sound like my style of humor, but that is fine, I guess. There we go. There's that one. That's how I feel about it too. Just exhausting. A kind of humor that is not super my thing most of the time. Don't have anything more interesting to say. Juggling work and 3 other things. That's okay. You're good. I thought we were having a pretty fun conversation. It's just been a quiet couple of hauls. That's all. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's a late night chill show. That's our whole thing here at the Long Haul. We're a late night chill show. Bogged down in critiquing a movie I saw 10% of. Yeah, I get what you mean. I love to critique things that I haven't seen. It's like one of my favorite hobbies. Like when I was like when one time my dad was visiting me when I still lived in Idaho, and he wanted to watch The Hangover and The Hangover 2 for some reason. And I told him, "No, those movies are bad. I don't want to watch The Hangover and The Hangover 2." And he said, "Well, have you seen them?" And I said, "No, because they're bad and I don't want to watch them." And you know what? I sat down and watched them with him, and they were bad, and I didn't enjoy watching them. I'm always right. When I critique things that I've never seen, I'm always right 100% of the time. His girlfriend at the time was with him though, and she bought me cigarettes, so that was cool. Cool visit. Got lots of cigarettes that I didn't have to pay for. Back when I smoked a lot. Remember seeing some of the Hangover movies and the American Pie movies and stuff. They're just bad. Can't remember a single part of those films I liked. You know the single part of The Hangover that I like? The concept. I love the idea of a bunch of people had a wild and crazy situation happen and like a whole bunch of things, and they're dealing with the fallout of it while simultaneously trying to piece together what actually happened. I think that's a fun idea. I think you could make a good movie out of that. It's too bad they made 3 and none of them were good. I'm sure those movies are just fine for the kinds of people who like that type of movie. It's just not, again, not my thing. Missing link fact, they're sometimes called Bigfoot because the one Bigfoot kind of like a bear's, the other one's small like a cat's. I found track evidence of this myself. Huh. I didn't know that. Thanks for the Bigfoot fact. Hey, how you doing, Lanzapans? Hangover film, one of the did the trans woman jump scare. Yeah, that's the second one. I was tastefully not mentioning the trans woman jump scare in the second one. But yeah, I did watch that scene. It was bad. Did not enjoy these films. I thankfully knew it was coming. Like, I had heard about the movie and I knew exactly what scene it was going to be in when I saw it start happening, so I was, like, braced for it at least. Didn't know you were trans when you saw that scene, thought it was weird. Fair enough. Everyone else in the room was also not old enough to watch those. Yeah. Look, R-rated sex comedies are primarily for 13 to 15-year-old boys. And if you thought you were a 13 to 15-year-old boy, then you're the target audience for that no matter what they say. They'll say it's not for those. They'll say it's for adults, but you're not the target, or the adults are not the target audience for those kinds of films. How you doing, Lanzapan? How you feeling? How's the weather? Things I remember us doing in that dorm room at the summer camp were watching R-rated sex comedies and also putting on a 24-hour Neon Cat loop and seeing how long we could stand it. I think we made it 6 hours. Feeling burnt out by dating apps? I feel you. I haven't done dating apps in a long time, but God, they are miserable. I'm so sorry. I stopped doing dating apps because they're miserable. I should probably just get the scaffold at this point, huh? This one's even kind of set up in the right zone. Okay. I've apparently run out of things to talk about. This is definitely Bigfoot shit we're washing off this guy's for. Oh, absolutely. 100%. %0 chance that there isn't at least some Bigfoot shit in this situation. Oh, I guess I just straight up can't put the scaffold on that side of the fence. That's kind of annoying. I've got the super long extension, so it's not a big deal. Keeping up with games is so hard. Oh? Games demand so much time. Yeah, I agree. I like... You know, I've been like playing a lot more at least Guild Wars 2 in the last few months than I've played in a long time. And I'm enjoying myself a lot. Like, I like Guild Wars 2. But God, I just like can't bring myself to keep up with like dailies and weeklies, even though the rewards are good and like a lot of the time they're at least kind of fun. Just the fact that a game asks me at all to do daily quests has always been something that I hate. I hated it when I played WoW. I hated it when I played Guild Wars. I hated it when I played Final Fantasy XIV. Just daily stuff, I hate. I hate it. I just want a freeform play experience, you know? And these games do not allow that as much anymore. I mean, you can still do it, but like they're just throwing objectives at you constantly, so it feels like you're wasting your time if you're not doing them, and then it feels like you're wasting your in-game like time, or if you're not logged into the game and playing different games instead. And I know that's the intention. Like that's how I'm supposed to feel, and I hate that that's how I'm supposed to feel. But also I like the games is the problem, you know? Guild Wars 2 dailies are more like, here's a suggested thing to do that will give a little bonus money and not like hardcore FOMO. Yeah. They've done a good job avoiding making the FOMO stuff super bad with Guild Wars. I have to admit, I do still kind of hate the old, or miss the like original like base game launch version monthly system, where like, or wait, no, sorry, the base game version was not the one I liked. The one before Wizards Vault came out and changed how dailies worked. The like I liked that the login bonus monthly stuff was not what's the word? Was not like bound by real life time. If I didn't log in for 3 months, but I was 29 days into the 30-day cycle of the monthly thing, I could log in and I would still get that 30th day. Know what I'm saying? But now, like, with both just with the general sort of direction of the content and also Wizards Vault, it's like, well, now I should be logging in to do a convergence at least 3 times a week or whatever it is to get the maximum bonuses from convergences so I can get my legendary armor put together and, you know. Guild Wars 2, a game specifically sold on the fact that it wouldn't have a big gear grind thing, has for me turned into a game where exclusively the thing I'm doing when I log in is gear grinding. And I don't necessarily dislike that, honestly. Like I'm saying that like it's a bad thing, but like I don't mind that. I'm making legendary gear because I want to. I don't need to. And that's more than I can say for most MMOs. Like in most MMOs, it's just like, hey, you do all the shit you need to do to get this really good gear, or you can't play the game anymore. You can't advance and do new content. Did pick the single grindiest gear set to go for. The Obsidian armor is the grindiest one. I like the way it looks is the thing. The light Obsidian set looks incredible. PvP armor might take longer. Yeah, I think PvP armor, how long it takes depends on how good you are and how much you win. And I'm bad at video games, as we all know. There's a straight up time gate too. Ooh, that's rough. That's the amount of tickets which are weekly capped. Right. I forgot about skirmish tickets. Those things are annoying. Raid armor is actually the shortest time gate. Yeah, because it's like raiding is just harder. It's harder to raid. So I assume that's they incentivize you to do it with the legendary armors by that. Honestly, like when and if I ever finish like a full, you know, all 15 pieces or whatever of legendary armor for all 3 armor sets, armor classes, like once I've done that and I have legendary rings and stuff, like I already have a trinket. Like once I've done all of that, I don't really know what else I log back into Guild Wars for at that point. Aside from story, which doesn't take much time at all these days, I feel like. I mean, also, I do just like the game, to be fair. Like, I do just think the game is fun. So I log back in for that, but like if I don't have a goal, I have trouble keeping up on playing an MMO. I just kind of lose interest if I don't have a specific thing that I'm trying to work on or do. Fear-mongering the raid community. When Obsidian Arbor got announced, people won't have to choose between PvP and raiding. We'll never get new raiders. And then they made the grind super long. Yeah. See, now what I'm trying, or what my brain is trying to make me say is, maybe I should just get into raiding to get that legendary armor instead, but that's the devil talking. The devil is whispering in my ear, telling me to get into raiding. Nah, I'm sure raiding's fine. I had fun with the raids that I have done. It's just, I don't know. Doing organized party stuff like that isn't really my thing. It's the same reason I kind of stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV, because even, you know, a 4-man dungeon or like a quick 10-man trial is just like, it's not the thing that I enjoy doing anymore. God, at the rate this is going, I'm gonna have to just like end the stream before I finish this whole level. This one's really big. You're only an hour and 15 into the level? Yeah. But I'm like more than halfway through stream time. Maybe it takes like 2.5 hours? Maybe. That sounds about right. Okay, I guess I got those undersides mostly from the scaffold. I keep trying to come up with things to talk about, and like normally when I don't have anything to fall back on, it's like, oh yeah, I'll talk about what I've been writing lately or whatever, but like I ain't been writing nothing. I've been thinking a lot about the mechanics and like functionality of certain elements of the magic system in my setting, but I haven't actually been writing anything. Yay, that railing's done. Cool. Like I've approached a couple of problems in my world building ideas. And like these are things that I've thought about before, but just I've been thinking about them more recently because I actually want to start writing more things that take place in this setting. But to do that, I need to have more of an idea of how certain elements of the setting function. So like the magic in this setting is called the Passions. And the thing about the Passions is that they're all based on emotions. Like, God, I have trouble even explaining it out loud to someone. So like it's all based around emotions. Like essentially what you're doing is that like emotions are like an ambient thing that exist in the air. And certain people can tug on certain strings of emotion that exist in a place and take that emotion into themselves and offload it into other people in order to utilize that emotion to accomplish something. So like I don't remember what they all are off the top of my head. It's fury, creativity, lust / love / desire. I can't remember my own magic system off the top of my head. It's something I've been like slowly plugging away at anyway, so like I probably shouldn't be expected to remember all of it off the top of my head. Just there's a lot of details. The emotion of forgetting shit. Exactly. You understand. But like yeah, so like that's the whole like central mechanic of it, and maybe that's stupid. That's the thought I've been stuck on lately. Maybe the idea of that as a system for magic in a fantasy setting is stupid. Like that's a setting, or that's a concept at least that I've been sitting on to use for exactly this setting for like a decade. And now I'm actually trying to write it down and I'm going, what if this sucks though? Oh hey, that's a Bigfoot footprint. There's a Bigfoot print. This ladder out of the way. As soon as I erased it. Missing link fact, they deposit their scat in bundles, much like a wild hog, with which they apparently share an identical diet. Huh. Good to know. So yeah, I'm like working out the details of how... Sounds like he just found wild hog scat. Yeah, I wasn't gonna say it. I'm giving this guy the benefit of the doubt. Probably more than he deserves. Whoops. You're not. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, that makes sense. There we go. But yeah, so like, I don't know. Maybe the very core of this idea sucks. And that's what I've been stuck on. Because, like, I'm like, well, what specific things do these different powers do? I know what creativity does. Like, creativity slash, like, artistry slash. Like, they all have, like, several names. They're all kind of the same thing. Because, you know, it's different words for emotions, but they're all the same power. You know? But like I know what creativity does. The primary thing that it does is it allows like art to be brought to life, both in the literal and the figurative sense. Like one of the primary characters in this whole like the story that I'm going for and have been going for in this setting is a storyteller. And one of the things that they do is they like use that power to make the story play out so vividly in people's minds that it's like they maybe not quite like they experienced it themselves, but it's like they watched a movie of it, you know? You know what I'm saying? So like that's one of my like that's the one that I know like for sure most of the mechanics of what it does and how it works. The rest of it is all more complicated. Like the anger one, obviously, people can use that to hurt people. But like anger isn't the only thing that makes people want to hurt someone. So like maybe there should be abilities that hurt people in all of the emotions. I don't know. Anyway, that's my tiny little lore dump about this setting that no one but me cares about for the week. Trying to see if you can elaborate on this stuff and make it less one-dimensional and see if it feels, or if it feels forced. Try out another idea. Yeah, like that's the idea. Like the fact that I'm having trouble making it feel less one-dimensional is the reason that I'm thinking about it, you know? Like the reason that I'm going like maybe this idea is not the idea. Or at least maybe like certain elements of it need to be reframed to work better. It's not like it's gone the instant you try something else. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I was being kind of flippant about the way that I was explaining like the feelings that I'm having on it, but that's basically what I'm saying is like maybe I just need to go back to the drawing board entirely since since I'm having so much trouble solidly putting together like what each thing does. And it's not like I'm aiming for like super hard fantasy. Like not everything needs to be 1-to-1 exactly the same all the time, but I do kind of agree with like the Brandon Sanderson rule, where like I'm having trouble remembering exactly how he phrases it, but it's basically like the more or the less you know about the magic, the less the less the audience knows about the magic, or the less that you as the writer know about the magic, the less you should be using it to solve problems. Because if the audience doesn't understand how it works, then it just feels like a cop-out. It feels like a solution to problems that doesn't have any, reason, It's the Harry Potter problem. Like, you know what some spells do, but, like, it's not really clearly spelled out what the limitations of what spells do in Harry Potter is. And I'm talking about, bad wizard books. It's just a convenient example. It's just a convenient example of this principle because, like, when it ends up that the solution to a problem ends up being they cast a spell that they know, but we don't, like, know the spells, then it just kind of feels like bullshit when they use that to solve a problem. Or it's like, you have Gunspell, you have Avada Kedavra or whatever it is. You have Abracadabra. And that's Gunspell, it's a spell that shoots you with a gun and kills you. And it's supposedly like undodgeable, unblockable, whatever. But like then, in the movies they're dodging and like hiding behind things, and the spells are bouncing off of stuff, and then they're, firing the good guy version of Gunspell that just shoots the wand out of your hand back at them. Or whatever, like, we don't understand the mechanics in a clear enough way for any of this to feel like it has weight. Whereas in, like, I don't know, Mistborn, when everyone's like, yeah, there's 10 metals and this is how they all work, and like they work in matched pairs that do this, this, and this, then when someone has a clever solution to a problem that uses one of those metals, suddenly you understand, oh yeah, that's really clever, and that's cool that you did that cool solution. I don't know. Or like, it's cool that you flipped the magic system on its head by introducing an element that we didn't know about before. That kind of thing. Like, we as the audience thought we had a solid understanding of this magic system. But now there's this new element we didn't know about, and that's cool and epic and awesome, and I like it. Just explaining this in the stupidest possible way, But it's, I think it's an important thing to think about in fantasy writing. Like, in general for me, like, Sanderson, reading all of his, like, Cosmere books, which, like, I've probably talked about this before, but, like, there's, like, I don't know, like, 22 books or something in the Cosmere right now. And many of them take place on, like, just different planets. There's 7 books on Mistborn Planet, plus some short stories, and 1 novella. There's 5 books plus 2 novellas that take place on Roshar, which is the Stormlight Archive planet. But, like, the magic systems for each of these planets are different and function differently, but the core mechanics that it all slots together in are also, like, there in every single planet, and it makes it really interesting to, like, look at each one and go, like, how does this fit into Like how is investiture moved around on this planet? How do humans get investiture into them in order to do magic? And I think that's really cool. And so like I don't know. That kind of thing has really like inspired the way that I want to put together my fantasy stuff. I like the way that when I'm reading a Brandon Sanderson novel, I'm thinking about the way that the world works. I guess is what I'm getting at. The whole time when I'm reading these novels, I'm thinking about the way that everything works and like slots in to the greater systems at play in the Cosmere. I think that's really fun and cool, and I would like that emotion to be something I can make other people feel. That's all. You know, I don't think I'm interested in doing a project like the Cosmere, which is, you know, like fucking 20 interconnected planets or whatever. But I'm interested in making people experience that specific emotion. One thing that I think is funny is that, also fantasy. I see what you're doing there. I'm picking up what you're putting down, Cora. I think it's interesting that in like Lord of the Rings manages to follow this principle, even though it also kind of just doesn't follow this principle at all. Because in Lord of the Rings, magic is like chaotic. Like magic is incredibly powerful and can accomplish anything, but also it doesn't really always work how you expect, even when you're, you know, fucking Gandalf or whatever. And also, like, it's very, those windows are good. I do have a stepladder. I could use that. Because the thing, even though they don't ever like explain how the magic works in Lord of the Rings, like you don't really know the mechanics of it, and it can kind of accomplish whatever you want it to. The fun thing about Tolkien magic is that basically every time magic gets used to solve a problem, it creates a different problem. Which circumvents the issue of, okay, that's kind of a bullshit solution to this problem, by instead just introducing a new problem on top of the one that was already there while mitigating the original problem. Oh, you've consumed, your tummy is full. I hope you enjoyed your rice and tilapia and stuff. I feel like Lord of the Rings it's interesting to me because like I love Lord of the Rings. I'm a person who reads and writes fantasy. Of course I love Lord of the Rings, right? Like, or at least I like basically anyone who reads and writes a lot of fantasy is either a fan of or at least frequently engages with the concepts behind Lord of the Rings. And I think that it's interesting that like most things that I would think of as being kind of like bad, why are you doing this, in contemporary fantasy, they do it in Lord of the Rings, you know? Like it's the like, oh, there's like fucking fantasy racism. Like why do you need fantasy racism? Unless there's a specific reason for it in your story, you shouldn't need it. But Tolkien does that, and there's not really that much of a specific reason. it's important to like exactly one character arc, and I can't even remember because it's been a while since I've read the books. I can't even remember how prominently that character arc happens in the books, or if I'm just, you know, inserting my memories of the movie on top of it. Your fantasy is either completely indebted to Dungeons and Dragons or completely indebted to Lord of the Rings. I would say if you're completely indebted to Dungeons and Dragons, you're still completely indebted to Lord of the Rings. The way that me and Tia have always said it, like when we talk about the way that fantasy functions as a genre, is that once Lord of the Rings came out and got big, it became a what's the word I'm looking for? Every piece of fantasy that comes out after Lord of the Rings, whether the author thinks they are or not, is having a conversation with Lord of the Rings. You are communicating with and communing with and talking to Lord of the Rings if you are writing fantasy, whether or not you think you are. And I don't think that's an unfair thing to say. Because, like, it's... Oh, like, this isn't your tradition... It's like George R.R. Martin, like, oh, this isn't traditional fantasy. Characters are going to die, and it's going to be a big deal, and, you know, anyone could die at any time, and there's not really, like, surefire heroes and villains, and blah, 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 blah. But that's in conversation with Lord of the Rings, because you're, you know... Lord of the Rings is the traditional fantasy you're being compared to there. All art is about Mount Fuji. You're so right. But, like, yeah, I genuinely believe that any fantasy thing written after, like, 1970 is ultimately having a conversation with Lord of the Rings. I don't think it's possible not to, because the cultural context is just too heavily ingrained into everything we think of as fantasy. At least in, like, Western culture. I obviously can't speak for, like, anything outside of the US and Europe. I don't know what's up in other countries, or in other, like, continents either, in general. All art that doesn't have Mount Fuji in it is affected by its absence. I can't tell if you're dunking on my opinion or not, but I would disagree that that's a good comparison if you are. I accept that it's a valid way to criticize the thing that I'm saying. If that is what you are doing. But I disagree. I can't articulate why I disagree, but I do. I think it's a fair comparison, not trying to dunk. Okay. It's fine if you were dunking, just for the record. I am okay with being dunked on. It's like the same way to me, the way that I think about it is it's the same way that, like, anything you write about, like, Christian mythology, or at least like the Catholic type of Christian mythology, is at least a little bit in conversation with Dante and, like, what's his name, Milton, Paradise Lost. Like, everything that you make within that space is in some way in conversation with these things, because they're so deeply ingrained into the way we look at the type of media it relates to. or like the genre, at least the subgenre that it exists within. All art is about my mom. And you know why I say that? It's because my mom is beautiful. Just like art. What am I missing on this window frame? Take it to the bank, boys. This one's just like art. There we go. I'm going for is that there's this mountain that so dominates the skyline and the identity of the locale that it's inevitable that the art made there is in conversation with it. Yeah. I 100% agree. I am picking up what you're putting down now. You could Americanize that by saying all pictures of New York are about 9/11. Didn't realize Long Haul was on. Hi, Len. How are you doing? You were hurting earlier today, I think. Are you doing a little better now? Hopefully. We're talking about art. I was talking about fantasy literature in particular, but now we've kind of generally spun it out into talking about art. Slightly better? That's good. Glad to hear it. Always glad to hear when things improve. For you, my good friend. Yeah, drink more of this coffee. My throat's getting rough. I'm trying to think of more comparisons that you could make to the Mount Fuji thing. Like, because it's like, you know, with Christian literature, you have Milton and you have Dante, and all of that stuff is in one way or another contending with Milton and Dante. With fantasy, you have the Lord of the Rings. There are arguably other works that you are contending with within fantasy, like the like general Arthurian myth, I think, is a pretty common one in Western fantasy that you're contending with. Every indie RPG is having a conversation with Undertale. Here's the thing. Every indie RPG is having a conversation with Earthbound. Because every indie RPG desperately wants to be like Earthbound, including Undertale. And it's kind of funny, because Undertale is nothing like Earthbound, but everyone knows to compare it to Earthbound. All looter action RPGs are in conversation with Diablo. So true. All roguelikes are in conversation with... I was gonna say Rogue, but that's less funny than other things, but I can't think of anything funnier, you know? That one's much more surface level, yeah. think it could be argued that all first-person shooters are in a conversation with Doom. I think Doom might make a fairer comparison as far as like the level of an effect on how we think of genre. If you were going to say anything but Rogue, you were going to flip. Yeah, I was trying to come up with something other than Rogue that would have been funny. Couldn't think of anything, though. Vanishingly few looter ARPGs that aren't directly trying to copy Diablo. That's true. Here's the thing. All first-person shooters are in conversation with Doom, and all roguelikes are in conversation with Doom RL. And every RPG is ultimately in conversation with Doom RPG, the phone game. Anything but Rogue? How about Angband? Yeah. NetHack. Angband. Caves of Khud. My favorite roguelike, Caves of Khud. JRPGs are probably all in conversation with Dragon Quest. Yeah, I would agree with that. The old DOS D&D, yeah. I mean, we joked about D&D earlier, but like I think all RPGs are in conversation in some way with D&D, tabletop or otherwise. Like we were joking about D&D earlier, but like I think that's actually true. Trying to think of examples that aren't just, well, this thing kind of invented / popularized the genre. Yeah, like I'm trying to think of more things that like revolutionized in some way the genre, the way that Lord of the Rings did. Like Lord of the Rings feels like a special case to me because it didn't invent fantasy literature. Fantasy literature was already existed and it was big, but it changed how people look at and think about fantasy literature, you know? I mean, and you could argue that it invented, like, quote-unquote epic fantasy. Or, like, popularized epic fantasy. But, like, I don't know. I think that, like, there is an argument to be made. The closest is Lord of the Rings is to fantasy as D&D is to to RPGs. Yeah. Okay, so that is all one piece. Eh. Parkour. Missing link fact. Their scent is very much like that of a muskrat, and they seem to crouch right down when marking their territory to appear smaller than they really are. This guy's teaching me so much about the missing link. Missing link cables, so true. They should make a simulator game that that has Archipelago compatibility, in my opinion. If they ever do that, we'll need to do a link cable long haul crossover called the Long Cable. Or the link haul. I think both work, but the Long Cable is also a pun, I think. I think that's fun. Cool. Those are clean. I'm getting tired, and it's almost like the time I would normally end the stream, but I'm also like not even close to done with this. I think we may have to come back to this one next week, honestly. I was planning on next week looking at Train Simulator Classic, because they just released an update that they're calling Train Simulator Classic 2024, and I highly doubt that anything significant has changed, because there never is a significant change when they update year versions on Train Simulator Classic, but like, I feel the need to find out. The patch notes mostly just made it look like a lot of bug fixes, which you would think would be a normal patch and not a yearly update to change the name of the game. There we go. Like the internet cables that the sharks like to gnaw on. Exactly. They're long. Ah, dang it. Dang it, I finally thought of the joke. All roguelikes are in conversation with The Binding of Isaac. That would have been the funny one. That would have been the funny one to say. All roguish games are in combination with conversation with Rogue Legacy 1. Rogue Legacy was actually the one that I thought of when I was first trying to make this joke. But I didn't say it. Like, I don't even know if people know what Rogue Legacy is anymore, you know? I know they have a sequel now that came out recently, so, like... This roguelike doesn't have giant poops and gruesome aborted fetuses in it. Clearly this developer is rejecting Edmund Macmillan and his worldview. Good. I think more people should reject Edmund Macmillan and his worldview. Actually, I have no idea what kind of person Edmund Macmillan is. He might be fine. Edmund Macmillan's work has always given me, like, weird dude bro artist energy, but, like, not the malicious kind, just maybe the thoughtless kind. That's the energy Macmillan has always given me. Not someone who's, like bad or, like, rude or, like, says shit that sucks on purpose. Just the kind of person who doesn't think about it, but will, like, gladly accept that criticism. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what his deal is at all. Completely reject the pricing structure of Binding of Isaac Rebirth. What was the pricing structure of it? Like, I know they released a couple expansions for it, right? Those cost money. Is that what you're rejecting? Pisses me off so bad because it's in order to use... Oh, wow. I did not know that. That was how expensive it was. Unfortunately, it's Steam limitations. Hello, Weg! It's Cable 2. It is good to see you, funny Weg. Afterbirth Plus and try to make it extremely clear that you could not use it without also having Afterbirth. Because it's literally an expansion to the existing expansion. Huh. Hello, funny squirrel on my phone. Hello! I'm the funny squirrel in your phone. Good pin. Also, hello, Arby. How are y'all doing? I was thinking about slowing down, but now y'all are here. Thinking about wrapping up, so maybe I'll just, like, finish this level instead. Great to be here. Yeah. So it got mad and made it so you literally can't buy a DLC without owning the previous ones. Ooh, what was the Hitman World of Assassination fiasco? I own that game now, but like I got it from, like, my boyfriend bought it for me while it was on a big sale. I literally didn't notice this giant net thing until just now. I looked up and got jump scared by it. Is it just the weird DLC structure for Hitman? Because the DLC structure is in fact weird. Isaac Rebirth is a $15 game from a decade ago, and it's expecting me to pay $40 to get mods. I think that's unreasonable. That's fair. I could see people easily agreeing and disagreeing with that point. Can I put it down, please? Can I? It won't let me jump, so I can't aim down at... Oh, God. I guess this just lives in my hands now. Please, let me put you down. Yeah, okay. I get $40 for mods. Yeah. I don't know. I've never been a big Isaac head, so I don't really have a good comment on that. Oh, there's like a bunch of Bigfoot footprints right there, huh? This space over here sucks. There we go. Get the one on this side. I put all that work into getting the scaffold and I don't actually need it at all. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see the argument on the Isaac thing going either way. I see why it would be that way, and I don't know that I necessarily think it's super unreasonable. I think it is maybe a little silly. But I am also uninformed. Everything I know about the issue I learned just now in this conversation. I think the Binding of Isaac annoys me more than it, like, you know, gives me happy feelings of nostalgia for when that game came out when I was younger. Because super famous developer of Super Meat Boy is making a game that fits within the roguelike genre. And now for the next 10 years, the roguelike genre becomes so difficult to navigate for the type of games that I like within the genre. Know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very much a classic roguelike guy. Boy-girl thing. Oh no, Bug keeps laying on your hands. I'm sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay, I do know about the Hitman fiasco. Turns out I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, if you want to buy Hitman 3, you just have to put $70 down to get all 3 of the games at once, even if you already own 1 and 2. Yeah, it's just, like, straight up not worth it to buy Hitman 3 unless you, like, happen to find it on a pretty steep sale. Like, I think I got it for, like, $20 or something. And I wasn't even the one who paid for it. My boyfriend is. So, like, you know, it's kind of no skin off my bones, but, like, I also think it sucks that I already owned Hitman 1 and I'm essentially paying to be able to play the Hitman 1 stuff with the online features again. despite the fact that I've already, paid money for that. Okay. Dang it. I missed. Also, the Hitman 1 had a full, like, pretty good looking, fully animated cutscenes, and Hitman 2 has, like, a slideshow for every cutscene, which I was pretty disappointed by once I got to the Hitman 2 content. I don't know what Hitman 3 has because I didn't actually make it that far, just because that's a lot of game. You love Hitman 1 and 2 despite your confident assessment that you're too stupid to play them. I mean, I don't think you have to be particularly smart to play them. You just get to kind of goof around, have a fun time being a silly little guy, a silly little bald man. "12 hours of YouTube analysis on every level in Hitman 1. Please send me that." That's exactly the kind of shit that I love. Out of the box thinking that my brain doesn't really want to do on its own. Interesting. That is not a problem that I've run into or thought of. What do the designers expect me to do in this moment? I see. See, I like, it doesn't quite fit with the stealth puzzle box approach. Yeah. I like immersive sims as a genre. Like, I think that's a genre that I really enjoy. Which is like, those are the games that are just like, here's a pile of tools, go solve some problems, idiot. And there are debates as to whether or not the new Hitman games fit that. Most people, I think, say basically no. But they're close. Like, they have a lot of elements that would fit the genre, even if they don't actually fit the genre. I don't really know what the argument there is, but, like, I can tell you that I like that genre, and I like the games that encourage you to just kind of... They just kind of hand you all of the tools and say, figure it out yourself. Another person walking over my shoulder to be like, what if you threw a coin at that guy? Yeah. The thing that I don't have the out-of-the-box thinking ability for is to do a Silent Assassin suit only. Like, I can pretty confidently get Silent Assassin on most missions given enough time. But, like, suit only is like, how the fuck do you just completely avoid being seen? that's not roof cap. It's all 10 hours on Hitman 1, and there's an additional 2.5 on the tutorial level in Miami from Hitman 2. Huh. Let me just, Oh, you're going to send it to me on Discord. Thank you. I was going to say, let me just, like, click on that real quick and open it so I have it. Playing Cryptmaster like that with the Alec. I don't know how... I just completely read that sentence in, like, such a wrong way. I don't know how that happened. There we go. Oh, by the way, there's a new People Make Games video out today. I don't know if any of y'all watch People Make Games. But it's like a channel that does, in my opinion, interesting content on... I keep using the word content. I hate the word content and the way it's used. But they make interesting videos, like documentaries on just like sort of strange and odd things in games pretty frequently. And I think it's cool and good. And they did a new video that came out today or yesterday about a competitive farming simulator. And like I realize that probably doesn't sound very exciting to most people, but it was a very fun and very, very interesting and very exciting video. I had a great time watching it. I recommend it. You just watched... Oh, the People Make Games one? Yeah. It was a cool video. Just, you know, on the subject of simulation and video game and such. I feel like the format they've come up with is really interesting. And I don't know that I would ever sit down to watch that on my own, but it was fun and it was exciting to watch one time in a documentary format. Ugh, we are so close to finished with this. We're getting there. We're doing it. Actually, I just need to double check something real quick. Okay. There is, in fact, nothing currently needing my attention. I was double checking that since it's 20 minutes past when I normally end stream. Or at least nothing needing it urgently enough that I have flags in my Discord about it, I guess. Nah, I'm worried that I missed something. Okay. Sorry. I was double checking to be super sure. Where's my ladder? Come on. Um. I have run out of subjects, apparently. 99%. What am I missing now? It's time for my least favorite thing about this game, trying to hunt the things that I haven't cleaned. Move trim. I think if I could make one request directly to the developers about this game, it would be come up with a better way to tell me what isn't clean when I get to this fucking point. Ah, there's some stuff. Because just running around mashing tab is not fun. Oh. I guess you can view a menu of it, but like the names that it gives you are not very useful most of the time, in my opinion. Like if there was a way for me to like, I don't know, target it or something. I did see that one there. I'm apparently missing a roof trim. Oh, and I didn't finish the fascias. These things. Oh, that's new. Okay. Okay, I didn't know this about this menu, that if you click on them, it makes the part light up. Oh, that's so much better. I had no idea that it did that. Okay. Thank you for reminding me that there's a menu in this game, Weg. That is extremely helpful. Oh, I just kind of missed this whole wall is what happened here. Okay. Well, now I'm thinking about all of the countless minutes running around trying to figure out what's not clean I could have saved by using the menu. My mistake. Just in all of the time that we've spent playing this game on the stream. Oopsie. Now a mistake I won't make again. No promises. Gotta be honest with you, Willow. No promises. Okay. Still missing. There we go. Roof trims. Find the one that's blinking at me. There it is. Oh, that's so convenient. This is literally the feature that I said I think this game should have, how I see it. Vertical house trims. I assume that's these, right? Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. There's one. Yeah, you're kind of stuffing for brains. Oh, I know. I'm a stuffing brained idiot. Parentheses affectionate. Was that? No, there's still 2 more of those. Didn't walk by one that's flashing, did I? Aw, shucks. Shucks, Willow. I don't think I've ever said shucks in my life. That was fun to say, though. Where else is there vertical house trims? Because I don't see them on any side of this house. Any incomplete ones, at least. Am I missing something? Is there more house I'm not seeing? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Ah. I wasn't looking up. Okay. Lower house walls. One lower house wall, one upper house wall. There's the upper one. Where is there dirt on it? It's like tucked in there? There we go. Okay, lower house wall. Okay. Now, upper deck joists and rim joists. I'll go ahead and have the ones that I'm missing laid up, I guess. Or wait, the joists I think I need to do from below. The rim joists I should be able to see from up here. Those are middle deck pieces, so... This one. Yippee! Okay. Whoops. Didn't mean to equip that. Okay, we're almost done. Now, I'm pretty sure the thing that I'm looking for is... Yeah, there's one. There's one, and there's the other. Yay! We did it. Wow, that was so much more convenient. Thank you, Weg. Thank you, my good pal, Weg. We never found the... Oh, there's the mayor's cat. We never found the gnome. Is there a gnome in this level? There's some Bigfoot footprints. Don't see it out in the distance. I don't want to spend a ton of time trying to find the gnome because my head is starting to hurt, so I should probably get off my computer. But look at a couple more places. There's this big hammock thing here. Oh, there it is. I was right. It's hanging out in the hammock thing. Hello, gnome. I can't pick you up. You're too far away. All right. We've done it. Big stretch. Nice. The treehouse looks mighty fine. You've spruced up the spruce. I can't tell you how good it is to pirouette down those steps and smell fresh pine through the window. I was this close to packing up and moving out, but now I'm more determined than ever to find evidence of a beautiful missing link. All right. Cool beans. Cool beans, everyone. The coolest beans of all to you, my friends. I'm gonna get out of here. I'm tired. Do I have anything to say? Not really. Watch Cable 2. Enjoy Cable 2. Be Cable 2. That's all. That's all I got. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night, Cora and Arby, if you're still here, and Weg, and Willow, and Quinn, if you're also still here, and whoever else is here, lurking or otherwise. Friends, enemies, past romantic partners, and future nemesis. This has been the long haul. It's a celebration of simulation. I've been Shiv Rose. Have a good night. I didn't press the transition button in time. Ah, there we go. Consider it transitioned. Bye.